Hey, everybody, it's the Chocolate Bros. We're here to do another chocolate review. I'm Brian, he's Adam, and we are the owners together of Fortunato Chocolate. You can find us online at www.fortunatochocolate.com. And Fortunato Chocolate is a company that buys pure Nacional cacao, part of Peru, a place that both Adam and I know really well. Adam is in Peru right now in a small town in the high Andes Mountains called Celandine, which is about an hour and a half, maybe 50 miles further down the highway from the town that I lived in for many years, Cajamarca, Peru. His wife is from Celandine. My wife is from Cajamarca. And he's in Peru. I'm near Seattle, Washington. And together. Adam, what do you got to say?
Yeah, sorry. That's so I botched the intro because I'm not in my regular environment. So I'm not thinking straight. Plus we traveled for almost 2 days to get here with our kids. So I gotta shake it out. Um, so we're gonna be doing our tasting show today. The purpose of the tasting show, I guess there's two parts. One, we've only been eating our own chocolate for such a long time that we've had a desire to get back out into the world and see what the chocolate scene is looking like these days. And secondly, we're coming into the hot weather, and if there are good bars that are available in your local retail establishments, in your local grocery stores, then we would like to be able to do the public service Ralph Nader style of being able to. Brian said I looked like Ralph Nader on our last episode.
Angry and requiring people to wear seatbelts while they eat chocolate. Is that how
Yeah,
that's? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and just shouting people down,
Right.
but really making good points. That was the
Hmm.
thing about old Ralph Nader. He was
That's right.
strident, but in the end, he had some good points. But anyways, so we're going to be reviewing bars that we're getting from common retail establishments, so that you might be able to find these in your hometown while the
Right.
weather is hot and we're not able to really ship chocolate because it'll melt in transit. So, all that being said, I have this bar by Jcoco. Now, this bar has three different bars in one. It's
Hmm.
got the 85% Contaminama cacao, then it's a 61% smoked sea salt, and a 72% black fig pistachio. We are going to be reviewing the 72% black fig pistachio on this episode. So this is a
Right.
Jcoco bar. It's got like a tricolor, and I just bought it at a just sort of like a local, not a Whole Foods, but maybe one step down from a Whole Foods, where they sell like some higher end products and some lower end products all in one place.
Now let me tell a quick story about Jcoco. I know the maker here. So Jcoco comes is made from Peruvian cacao, and it is made by a company called Cacao Suyo. Cacao, Cacao, Suyo, Suyo. For anyone who's interested, look them up. They make fantastic chocolate. The owner, Samir Gia, is a good friend of mine. Sammy is an ex rock star in Peru who got into the chocolate business some years ago. Um, Good friend of mine. I see him every time I go down to Lima, Peru, and Cacao Suyo makes some of the best craft chocolate in the entire country of Peru. They've won every award. They've won 70 or 80 international chocolate awards, including best in the world. Several times for their 52% Pura dark milk. These guys know how to make good chocolate. Now, the Jcoco stuff is cocoa liquor that Sam makes in his factory in Lima, Peru, and then brings to the United States as cocoa liquor, which is just one processed, ground, roasted, and sort of a pasty liquid form of
Unsweetened.
100% cacao, unsweetened.
Unsweetened.
It's just 100% cacao. He then brings it, and in the factory of Seattle Chocolate Company here near Seattle, down near the airport in Seattle, he has a room carved out, and he has his own line of equipment there, and he takes that cocoa liquor that he sends from Peru, and he turns it into consumer chocolate, including with inclusions. And it's in conjunction. He uses the marketing and the distribution and logistics of Seattle Chocolate Company, but it's his own line with his own cacao and his own flavors.
Yeah. Okay.
And Jcoco comes from Calcasieu, and these lying if I didn't say I expect this to be a top quality bar.
Beautiful. Yeah. And so just looking at the packaging, I really like this cardboard box that they used.
Mhm.
It's got a nice on the back. It's got a nice flap with with some flavor information on the
Mhm.
inside on the inside. And
Mhm.
then this type of box is easy to fold back up and put your chocolate away.
Yes.
I do notice that they used like a thick matted interior foil.
Yeah, it's the interior foil, but it's not that thin stuff that you can't rewrap. It's a thick foil that you can kind of unfold, take out a piece, and fold back
It
over it. It
doesn't
doesn't.
it doesn't automatically rip apart.
Right.
and become
Right.
useless, which is good. So, all right,
Mhm.
Brian, you wanna maybe
Yeah, I
get
just
into it?
wanted to. I have the ingredients here, and I just want to take a look at the ingredients here. The 72% black fig pistachio. So number one, 72% cacao dark chocolate, which is just cocoa beans, sugar, a little bit of cocoa butter. He's got lecithin in here as an emulsifier. Pistachio, black fig, cocoa powder, and sea salt. So the
Okay.
inclusions are real. These are not reconstructed inclusions. So right off the bat, this feels like a better quality bar than better ingredients than some of the ones that we've had. So I'm
Yeah,
going to go ahead.
and
I'm
and
going to
I,
first just try to get a taste for the chocolate.
and I don't know if Jcoco is available around the country, but you see it in a lot of stores around here in the Seattle area.
Mm-hmm. Well, right off the bat, that's real chocolate made from real cacao.
Although it
The
doesn't,
chocolate.
it's delicious. My initial tasting of that is delicious, but it doesn't. Is he only using Peruvian cacao for this Jcoco brand?
Well, I can't say that definitively, but I don't know what he does. He only, I know he only operates Peru. I don't know how he could possibly have any other
Mm-hmm.
beans but Peruvian
Yeah,
beans.
because right off the top, that doesn't give me a flavor profile that I would necessarily say is representative like a northern Peruvian cacao that I've tasted.
Well, this is not necessarily northern. He also gets beans from down in the Cusco
Ah,
region
okay.
and
I
also
thought he
in
was.
the Vry region. So this could be genetics we don't know and region we don't know.
If
And
I
I would
had to
guess
get,
it is. I
I
would
would
guess
guess
it's
this is
more of a
more like a
Cusqueño.
southern. I was
Mhm.
going to say exactly that.
Yep.
This tastes to me like more like a southern Cusco variety if it's a Peruvian variety.
Okay. Now I've got the inclusions going.
Mm-hmm. So let me know if you want to set it off, if you want me to set it off.
Hmm. Okay, I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. The inclusions are real. There's real bits
Mm-hmm.
of pistachio. It's a good tasting pistachio. The fig gives it that a little bit of the flavor of the fig, but it doesn't really increase or reduce the sweetness. The chocolate hits a nice. It's a good roast. The beans are fermented well. There's a bitterness, but it's pleasant. Um, this is an inclusion bar where the chocolate stands out as rock solid chocolate, artfully introduced to enhance the overall flavor. It melts well. It's processed well. I can't find much to other than good things to say about this bar.
I would I'd say this is certainly the best bar we've tasted as a part of this show.
Mm-hmm.
By, by 10 or 20%, by 20% at least. I
This is
mean,
a craft quality bar, but that can mean different things. In this
yep,
case, it means craft done right.
it's craft done right. And so this
Mm-hmm.
is like the best bar I've ever tasted that I bought at a grocery store.
Yeah,
So this Jcoco brand, I mean,
this is
this
this is a bar that's where the only thing I could say, it's got a little too much cocoa butter. It's
well,
just a bit too
I
much cocoa butter, but the roast on the beans and the beans themselves are
so
good, and the
I
inclusions are real
well,
ingredients.
yes. So I mean, I will give a couple of critiques, and of course, this is subjective what I'm going to say right now.
Mm-hmm.
But from my own experience, we make a product with pistachios,
Mm-hmm.
so I have some basis for comparison.
What
The
is that
pis-
product, Adam, and where can
that's
people find it?
Yes, that's the 47% dark milk jalapeno pistachio pumpkin seed bar that you can
Mm-hmm.
get up online on
Mm-hmm.
www.fortunatechocolate or in our shop. So just a couple of critiques, because we do inclusion bars, and what I like about our inclusion bars, and of course everybody can choose for themselves how they want to do it, but our inclusions are really packed full
I was gonna
of
say
inclusions.
this wants more
So,
inclusion.
so
Yeah.
for example, I really like the black fig,
Mm-hmm.
but of all
I
these
want more
bites
of
that
it.
I've taken, I got one little tiny piece of black fig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I
I
want
don't,
more inclusion. You're right.
so I don't know that it lives up to the billing on the inclusion. Also, this is just a minor point, but the pistachios are raw pistachios, unsalted. Pardon me, they're not raw, but they're the pistachios themselves are unsalted. The chocolate is salted, and it's nicely salted.
Mm-hmm.
It's delicious chocolate. I think you're right. It's a southern Peruvian variety of cacao, which is
Mm-hmm.
more nutty and less acidic than what
Mm-hmm.
you get from the north. Um, so the chocolate itself is really good. The pistachio is an unsalted pistachio, which to me, I don't know, just for some reason, when I eat the pistachio, I find it maybe a little bit lacking in the pistachio flavor that I am expecting.
Hmm.
It doesn't taste, I don't know. I don't know. The pistachio kind of loses out to the chocolate. I'd like a little more pistachio
Yeah,
flavor.
I think you're right. I think there is. I think it needs. It might be right now maybe 7 or 8% inclusion by weight, and I think that
Mhm.
should be maybe 12 or 14%. I
A little
agree
bit
with you.
more.
It's
Yeah,
lacking in, yeah, and I don't know what the pistachio to fig ratio is, but yeah,
mm.
the fig is my. I like the fig better than the pistachio, but
I
the
like the
pistachio
chewiness of the fig.
but the pistachio gives some texture.
Mhm.
This is the first time I had a small amount of this bar that we cut out. You left it with me, and then you took the rest of the bar to Peru. It's the first time I finished the entire sample that I had. I ate all that chocolate and in no time at all. So the difference here is the chocolate. We keep coming across grocery store chocolates, bulk West African cocoa
Mhm.
beans. And there's been some that have been very harmoniously blended or turned into products that we could honestly endorse and say, yeah, if you got $3.99 and you're at the grocery store and you need something, it's not bad. You could eat this. I could eat this. This is the first bar I would say is is that's a $9 or $10 craft
That's a
bar.
delicious. It's a delicious bar of chocolate. I think I paid
It's
$4.99 for it.
it's made with fantastic cacao. It's well fermented. It's well made. It melts on the mouth. Like I say, I would take the cocoa butter percentage down by maybe 2 to 4%. I think it's just a little bit over buttery, and use that percentage to up the inclusions. But I mean, for the price that you just stated,
I think it
this
is. I
is
might be wrong, but it might be more. But that's what I
off the
recall. Being
charts, off the charts
great
worth it.
value. Great value.
Off
I
the
would,
charts value.
and I would almost say here because really the star of this is the
Mhm.
chocolate and not the
Yes,
inclusions.
right.
If keep an eye out for this brand, Jcoco, if you
Hmm.
can get like just one of their 72% bars rather than an inclusion bar, you might actually like just to get the straight chocolate rather
Hmm.
than the inclusions because I don't know. I will say this. I don't think the inclusions here added that much other than the salt, other than the fact that there's a little bit. Did you say there's sea salt in it? You did.
Yes, I would disagree with what you said.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
really
please.
I really I really thought the pistachio and fig were very harmoniously incorporated into
Mhm.
it. I thought they set off against the flavor of the chocolate. Um, yes, sea salt is the last ingredient on here. I think there's just a tiny bit. You're right. The pistachios don't say whether they're roasted or salted or anything. It just says pistachio, black fig, cocoa powder, which is odd, and sea salt.
Mhm.
So it's the very last. It's
I
the
bet you
very last one.
that cocoa powder could also be giving me some of that sort of kind of generic cacao flavor. I do get a little bit of that, or
Hmm.
maybe it could be contributing to the fact that there's less acidity of the type that I associate with
Mm,
Northern Peruvian cacao.
yeah.
Um, so first time we've disagreed on the show as well, bro. I might I like the
Hmm.
figs. I like the chewiness of the figs.
Hmm.
So I like the texture of the figs.
Yeah.
I don't get much flavor from the figs though. And maybe figs are not dried figs might not be very flavorful. They may be more of a
I mean,
textural
it
item.
was subtle, but I found it harmonious. I really like the balance on that. But I mean, but you're right. The star is the chocolate, and the chocolate's great.
Yeah, yeah, very good chocolate.
Yeah, and the
Um,
tail on this is very pleasant. The bitterness is low. There's no astringency at all. There's a pleasing kind of the want. It's a semi-sweet chocolate. That there's no off the beans are fermented properly. There's no off notes from the beans. Like I say, it's packaged well, it's made well, it melts on your tongue. The flavor is balanced. I mean, yeah,
and it
that
delivers. Yeah,
it
and it
delivers
delivers. It
for
delivers.
the
If you're buying a 72% dark chocolate and
Mhm.
you have this notion of how it ought to taste in your mind, when you buy this bar, you will get that you will get the payoff that you're expecting. It is going to
Correct.
taste as good as you're hoping it will taste.
Yeah. It's funny. I was just thinking about the different ways. So we have a pistachio bar, like you said. It's completely different in nature. It's on a bed of dark milk. It's got way more inclusions. It's way more balanced, almost 50-50 between the inclusions and the chocolate. It's more about the balance. The same inclusion, completely different results.
Mhm.
100% opposite like approach to using that inclusion. And some people would like ours better than this. Some people might want ours on Tuesday and this on Wednesday, but they're
Yeah.
both well-made,
Well,
satisfying bars.
yeah, they are. And I also just think that this requires a pretty thin mold,
Hmm.
whereas our inclusion bar has like a thick layer of ingredients on top of it.
It's more of a bark almost
It's
in the
more, yeah,
traditional terminology. Yeah.
yeah, more of a bar. And it also may be that I'm so accustomed to eating our chocolate that I'm
Hmm.
used to just like heavy inclusions. And
Hmm.
so my conception of how a conclusion bar ought to be done is influencing the way that I'm tasting this bar as well. That's a
Well, so
possibility.
on the inclusion bars that we make that have a base of dark milk, it's all about the balance between the chocolate itself and the ingredients. And in this case, you're right. They were showcasing the chocolate and using
As an accent.
the inclusions as an accent. So it's a different approach, both valid, both great. I love our bars. I love this bar. I'm gonna let my friend Sam, who I'm in contact with now, about possibly doing some work on his machines here in Seattle, know that we did this review and that I thought his bar was top notch.
I agree. It's top notch. Couldn't
Solid,
couldn't
solid thumbs up.
Yep, couldn't give a higher recommendation to this bar,
Mhm.
and I would assume the other products by this company are of similar caliber.
The
Even though we have
chocolate should all be right in
the
that
chocolate,
range. How they incorporate inclusions, we've had some bars that incorporate inclusions very well and others where it just didn't work. I wouldn't go out on a limb and say all their inclusion bars are going to work, but the chocolate should be consistent across their line.
beautiful. All right. Well, if you want to check out our chocolate, we're on www.fortunatochocolate.com. We have a few products that ship well in the heat. So even in the heart of the summer, you can check out our nut butters, our almond and peanut butters with chocolate, or our products that feature cacao nibs. We have cacao nibs with dried blueberries and cacao nibs with dates online. So you can do those all summer long. But if you want a great chocolate fix, you might check out Jcoco. Brian, anything to add to that?
No, nothing to add to that except I really want to express my appreciation for everybody who's watching, listening, streaming it. If you like it, press like, smash subscribe, hit the thumbs up, whatever it is you can do to express your appreciation. Just the same way I want to express our appreciation to you for tuning in. And until next time, we'd like to say thank you and have a great one.
Have a great one. Bye bye.
Bye.